Of course, I'm way more excited about the regular season championship. And
Coach of the year, baby.
Too often, I think the coach of the year, to be honest with you, and I'm not saying this trying to be Mr. Humble, is just really overrated. And what it is, it's a team award based on how well your team has played. So, and of course our staff. So, I'm humbled by the award, and I'm humbled by the fact that it's voted on by my peers inside the league, and I'm happy about that. Trust me, I'm very, very excited. But I'm also been around long enough to give credit where credit's due, and without our staff, without our players, you don't get a Coach of the Year award. So I accept that award, and I'm fired up about it, excited about it. But I accept that on behalf of our staff and our players. So that's that about that. The conference championship means way more to me than, of course, the Coach of the Year award, and especially I've seen all kind of the percentages. I think we had less than 1% chance of winning the regular season league title. I wish I was able to gamble and could go to Las Vegas. I don't know what those odds would have been, but man, they'd have been pretty good. But anyway, that's the most rewarding thing to me, is that we had a team that was picked last in the league, less than 1% chance to win the regular season title. Our guys didn't buy into any of that. They believed in themselves, I think, from day one. They've always had a great amount of confidence. They continue to have a great amount of confidence. They've actually been amazingly consistent really throughout the summer and the fall, and of course as the season started. Haven't ever lost 2 games in a row. They've just been an absolute blessing personally, and a blessing to our program. So I'm excited about that, but we have to also keep that in perspective, in that you really have 3 seasons. You have your non-conference schedule, which we were able to have a good non-conference schedule and be successful, and then we started league play. Of course, that's over with now. Finished first in our league, and now the real season starts, and there's no do-overs. There's no, gosh, Coach, let's get them back next game and get this corrected. This is our final exam. And our goal, our major goal all season long, has not been just to win the regular season championship. That's on the path, but has been to win the conference championship, tournament championship, because we realize that gets us to our major goal of getting to the NCAA tournament. So that's where we stand this week. We got to have a great week of preparation. We had a great morning this morning, great day yesterday, and again. Guys are fun to work with. They work hard every day, give you everything that they have. They're coachable, and I think that's no coincidence that they've been so successful. So excited about getting down to Pensacola later this week and seeing what we can get done.
Coach, a year ago you didn't know if you were going to be in this spot. That has to make the Coach of the Year honor at least a little sweeter.
Andrew, yes, if you would have told me last year at this particular day I would be the Coach of the Year this year, I'd have probably said, well, maybe I was coaching in high school or something, because I'm very, very close to it. I was very close to having to go find me a job, a high school job, and so it's just been an incredible turnaround, and I have to give all the credit to our staff and players for the turnaround. And if you'd have told me before the season started or during the season that it was going to happen like it did, I probably wouldn't have believed you. And so anyway, feel very fortunate.
Just how did those final kind of moments go in the game Friday, and when y'all learned y'all are regular season title? I'm
gonna give you a little story. I was able to, because they played at 6 and we played at 7. And of course, I'm back when the team's warming up, I'm back in the locker room. And of course, I'm keeping up with it up until 7 o'clock. So it got me till about halftime of the game. Marshall was leading by 7 points at halftime. So of course, the team and the players come back in for the final instructions and so forth. And one of the coaches asked me, Coach, what's the score? I said, Marshall's up 7. Looks like they're going to kind of walk away with it. And I said, but you know what? I don't want to know how they came out, because we've got to focus on our task at hand, and that, because I knew, of course, if we won, we still would have been the co-champion, right? Maybe not the number 1 seed, but we'd have been co-champion. So we come out at halftime. Of course, the game's over with, and I had told them, don't tell me one way or the other how the game comes out, because I didn't want to be distracted. And one of our assistant coaches, and I'm on, heretofore remain nameless, whispers to me on the way back. On the way back on the floor. Of course, we're up 12 at this time, and he says, "Coach, ODU beat Marshall." And I said, "I told you, don't tell me." Of course, in my mind, I'm going, "Oh yeah," And so we walk out there with the very first 2 possessions. We give up a 5-0 run in about 30 seconds. They score, we don't score, and they hit a 3, and our lead goes 12-7. I turn on the side. I said, "I told you, don't tell me about that." I was blaming him, but of course we stabilized and got it going. When we got up 18 or so, not knowing that for sure saying the game was over with, but knowing that they had already lost, and really nobody but myself and that particular assistant really knew. And then the last few seconds, of course, I let everybody know on the bench. I said, "Guys, y'all are the champions." And the players just went crazy. They were starting to go crazy on the bench, even before it was over with, when they knew that they were the outright champions. So Charlie, it was really, really exciting.
Kind of crazy that ODU kind of put you guys in that bad spot, and at the same time they,
it is. But you know what? I wasn't surprised, and I'll tell you this. First of all, ODU was playing really well before we went up there, and they're really good. That's a good basketball team, and I wouldn't count them out this week. That's a team that definitely can make some noise. So of course we were disappointed that we lost to them, and of course it put us in a position we could have kind of finished it that night, but I wasn't really. Marshall's got a great team, but I wasn't surprised. I knew that they were going to have a tough game at ODU. ODU's is good.
Jay, could you talk a little bit about getting the double bye and maybe some possibilities of what you're going to run into on that side of the bracket?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I never look way down the bracket. Of course, we know the first task at hand will be the winner of Appalachian State, who we had a really tough game here, in South Alabama, who we beat here in a tough game, and they beat the brakes off of us, 3 or 4 weeks ago down in Mobile. So we know we've got our hands full. And here's what I like about our team. We're a very mature team, of course, oldest team in Division I, but the way that they approach things, we know that all we can control is what happens here in Reed Green Coliseum, what happens within our team. And we've got our goal, it will be in the team that's going to win it, whether it's us or somebody else, is going to be the team that can play that's going to be at their best, that's going to be individually at their best and operating as a team at their best. And can put 3 straight good days together if it's one of those teams with the double bye. The double bye is absolutely huge. To have to, some of the teams start today, and to have to go in there and win, 4 or 5 games, or the ones that play today, 5. That's a very, very difficult thing, and I would say the odds on that are about like us winning the league tournament. So you can talk to those experts whoever came out with those odds, but. Having the double bye is absolutely huge. That was one of our goals earlier in the year when we said, actually go back to last summer, that hey, let's get to the double bye. Not as much about winning the league, but getting that double bye. So I know I'm speaking for myself and those other 3 teams. Very fortunate.
Austin, obviously the newcomer of the year, and we know how important he is on the floor, but what he's been able to do as a leader off the floor, It seems like from the beginning he was kind of a voice.
Always has been. He has been an incredible addition to our program, and I'm first of all so happy for him. He's got a smile on his face every day. He works hard. He's so enjoyable to be around. He's not one person here in front of you guys and another person off the floor. He's the same guy. He's an outstanding young man, comes from an outstanding family. Very first time I ever met him, when I went to visit him when he got into the transfer portal, I went to visit with he and his family up in West Point. You can see why. They had just a very, very outgoing, supportive, loving family, and I knew right then he would be a great fit for our program and what we were looking for. And but what he's meant to our program, of course, he was a key player at Ole Miss. It's not like he never played. He played, but he just wanted to play a bigger role, and he is just. It's heartwarming to see a young man that works as hard as he does. When you have a player, and of course I would put some others, Felipe Hasse, I would put some others into this same mix, DeAndre Pinckney, that if your best players on your team are also your hardest workers, your team has a chance. And those are the guys, they work hard. They come in before practice, after practice, extremely dedicated and committed. So for Austin to get the newcomer of the year, first of all, he deserved it. Felipe Haase could have deserved it. I mean, how I guess it's just whatever the voters were seeing. But I mean, I thought we had several good candidates for that particular. But I'm very proud for Austin.
Just for you guys and the Lady Eagles as well. I mean, I think it's the first time that both have won the regular season title, right, in the same year. Kind of a remarkable time for basketball here in Hattiesburg.
Well, I think, first of all, Coach McNellis is one of my boyhood idols. I used to go watch her play when she was playing at Hancock North Central High School. She was one of the first, and I was just a young fella at that time. She played like a boy, and I mean, very athletic, had jump shots, and I mean, just an incredible game. And then, of course, she came to USM and was one of the first stars that we had as a player, as a Lady Eagle. And I had a chance to follow her career. And again, we didn't miss a ball game, and loved watching her play. And so now to have an opportunity to coach a coaching colleague with her and be separated just by a hallway and have the chance to see her every day. And I think it's just incredible what they've accomplished, and especially that run that they have the last week or so, beating Troy, and then things falling in place for them. So I'm so happy. I'm as happy for them as I am for myself, and our team, and to have both teams doing it, I think helps give all of us a boost in terms of helping promote basketball, helping promote it in our area. Hopefully that excitement will carry over into our high school programs, boys and girls, and help improve, because the stronger that our area is, and when I say area, South Mississippi, the stronger it is, the more recruits, that's our hometown access to players. So hopefully that this will carry over. But I cannot be more excited for Coach and for the Lady Eagles, and I hope they go down there and win it. That'd be awesome if both of us could go win it.
Anything else?
Coach, just what's the message, before you head to Pensacola,
Yep.
getting the team ready, especially, with the week off, kind of when you've been in the routine of
Yep.
the conference schedule?
Rest, and we wanted to make sure, when I say rest, I don't mean away from practice, but making sure that our guys getting proper rest, hydrating, eating correctly, but kind of refocusing their mind. I think the break, we actually had of course, we don't make these things public, but we actually have had a number of players last week that were kind of playing sick, the crud that's kind of going around. Y'all may have had, I know I had it personally, and it's just kind of going through our team. So I thought the break, Austin Crowley, you just use him for example, had a pulled hamstring. Gives those guys a chance to heal up. And but what we also, and you have so many people feeding, wanting to feed them, or taking them out to the baseball game. Everybody's patting them on the back, and we want to make sure that our feet are on the ground, our heads out of the clouds, and we get refocused on the task at hand. So mentally and emotionally, psychologically, and physically, we got to get our guys back, and they have been. Like I said, we had as good a practice this morning as we've had all year. So I love to see that momentum building.